Everybody lie down and drop everything. So whatever is waiting for you at the end of the class, probably still going to be waiting for you, but the good news is that you'll be a different person, right? You took care of yourself, you use your breath, your connection, you move your body, and we know that that makes a huge difference in our day-to-day life when we take care of ourselves. So start breathing, connecting to your breath, inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale through the nose, soften the facial muscles. Every exhalation is an opportunity to let go. We'll be doing different things today on the floor and off the floor. But the invitation throughout the practice is that you keep that connection to you. How are you feeling? What are the sensations? Am I doing too much that everything is tensing up? Am I doing too little that nothing is going on? Finding that right amount. And that's what yoga is, that right amount, that balance between effort and surrender. So how much do we let go and how much do we engage? Take 3 more deep and enjoyable breaths. The breath is happening right now in the present moment, so you can keep coming back to your breath. And when your mind is on the breath, that means you are right here. Your body and your mind are connected. When you're ready, we're going to bend the knees. Place the feet on the floor to the edges of the mat. You can open your arms out like a goalpost, if that feels okay. And if your hands are not relaxing on the ground, you can open your arms like a T shape or any variation. Okay, we're gonna be moving the knees side to side. Go slow like windshield wipers. And I invite you to notice the sacrum, the glutes, the weight as you're shifting side to side. You're rocking to one side and the other. Activate your feet. You're gonna flex your feet, drawing the little toe towards the outer knees. There you go. Let's do one more, and the next time your knees are to your right side, we're gonna stay there. The knees to the right, and the left arm is reaching back behind you, reaching towards the wall behind you, so you get a deeper stretch on the whole line of the left side of the body. Engage the left thigh reaching forward to the right from corner of your mat. Engage your left glute towards the back of the knee. Take 2 more breaths. And let's come back to center, taking the knees to your left side. Once you're there, activate that right foot, the little toe towards the outer knee. And then reach your right arm back behind you. Lengthen. And the same thing with the right thigh, reaching away from your torso so you get the maximum stretch, even feeling the stretch on the skin. Two more breaths. Let's come back to center and bring knees to chest. Hug them in. Both knees hugging into the chest. We're going to circle the legs And as you're circling your knees, notice if there's any sensation on your lower back, on your sacrum, on the hip flexors. Let your shoulders stay soft as you're doing this movement. We're going to change directions. Last circle. Let's come back to center. Set the feet down onto the floor about hip bone distance apart. From here, scoop your tailbone under so you're pressing your whole back against the floor. So your whole lower back is against the floor. Yeah, that's it. Now, try to keep as much as you can your whole back against the floor, but you're going to release the pubic bone away from the navel just an inch. So there's a tiny little curve above your sacrum. I'm going to say it again. You're pressing your whole back against the floor, and then you're going to release the pubic bone away from the navel an inch. So there's a little space right there. Good. Now press both heels onto the ground and then lift your hips up with that configuration. And then slowly we're going to lower down. So let's exhale, pull the belly in towards the spine, press your whole back against the floor so you're keeping your abdomen engaged. Keep it engaged, and now release your pubic bone away from the navel just an inch. Keep that. Press both heels equally onto the floor. Your abdomen is still engaged, and you lift up into bridge pose. When you lift into bridge pose, ideally what you're feeling is your glutes and your hamstrings working, and that your pelvis, it's in a neutral position. And then slowly lower down. Now grab your block, and I would like for you to place the block skinny between your upper inner thighs or between your inner knees, whichever works. If you do this at home and you have a wood block, don't put it between your knees, put it between your inner thighs. But the foam blocks is fine. Good. Now, as you exhale, push your whole belly down towards the ground, your whole abdomen towards the floor, and your spine against the ground. Then draw your pubic bone away from your navel an inch. You're going to be squeezing the block and pressing the heels and lifting up again. You're squeezing the block, pushing the heels, so hamstrings, glutes, and there's space on your back when you do that. Good. We're going to be adding on to this, and then slowly lower yourself down. Keep your block between your inner thighs. Draw the shoulder blades in towards each other. So the two shoulder blades are supporting your rib cage. Now see if you can press your whole back against the floor. It might be very different now, the sensation when your shoulder blades are underneath you. Now draw the pubic bone away from the navel. Don't come up yet. Just push your heels on the ground like you're going to come up. Squeeze your block and then come up again. Now, once you're here, so your legs are very strong, take both arms up towards the ceiling. You still have your shoulder blades underneath you, supporting your rib cage. And then reach your arm bones back. You're reaching back overhead and getting long through the side body. Now think of your knees reaching forward. So your arms reaching back, your thighs reaching forward. One more breath, squeeze the block. Slowly lower your arms down, lower your hips down. Take a couple of breaths before we do it one more time. press your whole back against the floor. Basically, you're scooping your tailbone under. Your whole lumbar spine is on the ground. See if you can bring those shoulder blades a little bit in towards each other, not too much. The belly is drawing down. Then you're going to draw the pubic bone away from the navel a bit until you feel a little curve on your lower back, just a little, but you're still engaging your abdominals. Squeeze the block. Press both heels equally. Slowly start coming up into your bridge pose here. Once you're there, that you feel maybe your glutes burning, maybe your hamstrings, take both arms up towards the ceiling. Take your arms back behind you. We're going to take 3 breaths here. The arms don't need to reach the floor. Actually, we don't want them on the floor. We want the arms, the fingertips reaching back towards a wall behind you, and your thighs and your knees reaching forward, so the whole back body is pretty engaged. Squeeze the block. 2 more breaths. There you go. And then slowly lower down. Okay, we're gonna take that block, bring your arms down, take the block. We're gonna place the block, the short height, right at the glutes, right at the sacrum. So now you are in a restorative bridge pose, a supported bridge pose. Okay, once you're there, in this case, you're letting the whole pelvis relaxed on the block. And you can extend one leg or both forward. So both legs are straight on the floor. Your heels are on the ground. If this is not okay for your lower back, please do bend the knees and place the feet on the floor. If this feels okay, the whole opening of the front of the body, take your arms up towards the ceiling, and then take your arms back behind you and reach. This time, if it feels okay, you can set your arms reaching back on the floor, and you're imagining being pulled. Your ankles and your wrists are being pulled away from each other. And let's take 5 deep breaths. We're opening the whole front of the body in the poses that we've been doing right now. Relax your ankles, relax your toes, so we don't really need to activate in this restorative. Take 3 more breaths. So slowly bring the arms down. Take a breath. Bring one foot on the ground, knee bent. Take a breath here. Bring your other foot. Good. Take a couple of breaths. Now I would like for you to engage your pubic bone towards the navel, navel towards the spine, and press both heels to lift the hips up and move the block out of the way. Good. Now stay up. Stay up in your bridge pose. Both heels pushing down. The shoulders are also rooting. And imagine this, your torso is a hammock, and you're going to be lowering down as slow as you can, vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to articulate each segment of your spine so there's no space between the floor and the spine as you descend. Most likely your lumbar might be the one that doesn't want to articulate for a lot of us. Scoop your tailbone under more. Draw the pubic bone towards the navel, navel towards the spine as you descend. Very, very nice. All right, let's bring the right knee into the chest. Hug the right knee in. Extend the other leg on the ground. Get long through the left heel reaching. Good. Activate the left foot. You're drawing the toes back towards your knee. Think of the inner heel of your left foot reaching away. Now transfer your hands on the back of that right thigh. Now you're keeping that right thigh next to your body the whole time. This is really not about straightening the knee. It's just about feeling the pull of the leg, the back of the leg. So as you inhale, you're gonna reach the right foot up towards the ceiling until you feel that pull on the back of your leg. And then exhale, bend your knee. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach your heel up towards the ceiling. And release. Good, one more time. Inhale. And exhale. So this time, inhale, reach. And you're gonna circle that right ankle. But what I want you to do is, rather than thinking I'm circling the ankle, think of the big toe trying to make the biggest circle it can make up on the ceiling. Okay, activate your big toe. And when I do that, I feel kind of a beginning of a cramp on the arch of the foot, because when you're working that big toe, is really making the arch work. Now with the big toe, you're drawing the circle in reverse now, changing the direction. The other toes are staying spread. Very nice. Okay, bend that right knee. Opposite hand to that knee. You can open your right arm out to the side and then take that right knee across for a gentle twist to your left. So this is targeting the glutes that we just engaged in the bridge poses, and also the outer part of your leg. The straight leg, you're gonna reach it long and then think of turning that whole left leg inward, like you're trying to bring the big toe towards the right side, yeah, in the twist. And that's gonna give you more sensation on the opposite leg. I hope I'm clear. So you're internally rotating the left leg as much as you can to target more sensation on the outer seam of the right leg. Okay, let's come back to center. Bring your left knee to your chest and extend your right leg. Okay, so left knee is hugging in, right leg is extending, the right inner heel is reaching. So think of the inner ankle, inner heel reaching. 2 more breaths. Make the right side of your body long. Hold the back of that left thigh with both hands. Good. Now inhale, we're gonna reach the left foot up towards the ceiling until you feel the pull. And exhale, bend. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend. Again, inhale, reach and feel that stretch. Bend. This time, we're gonna reach up, stay here, and the big toe is drawing a big circle up on the ceiling. And sides are different. One foot might feel more strong in the circle, and the other one might feel like more crampy, right? Change the direction. Big ankle movement there. Good. Bend that knee, opposite hand to knee. Take that leg across, twist to your right. So your straight right leg, you can start turning it inwards and see if that gives you more sensation on that outer seam of your left. So opposite hand holding the thigh. And your left arm is opening out to the side. So you're getting also a shoulder stretch. 2 more breaths. Let's come back to center. Now this time we're gonna bring both knees to the chest. We're gonna circle the legs. Change directions. All right. Before we get up and do some standing postures, we're going to do a little bit of core work. So let's lift the legs up so you have your knees right over your hips. Your shins are parallel to the floor. Make sure that your knees are not towards your chest. They're away from your chest. And if you move them away from your chest, notice that you have to work harder in your core to keep your legs where they are. Okay? Bring both hands on the thigh. So each hand on thigh. You got it. There you go, like that. Now you're going to gently start pushing your hands into your thighs, and your thighs are going to resist. And notice how the musculature of your core, your abdomen, is activating, right? And then relax for a moment. We're going to do it again. Bring your hands on your thighs, on the front of your thighs. Move your knees until they're right over your hips. Feet are active. You're pushing your thighs away. Maybe your elbows straighten. And you're trying as much as you can to put your whole back against the floor. So you're not arching your back. You're trying to put your whole back on the floor. And you're breathing. Okay, and then relax for a moment. Good. Now, bring hands again on front of your thighs. Your knees are right over your hips. You're really activating your whole core. Push onto your thighs. Your thighs resist. Now, take your right leg forward and your right arm back as you keep pushing onto the left side, the left hand on the thigh. And you're trying to press your whole back against the floor and come back. You're pushing that right hand on the right thigh. Take the left arm and leg away from each other. Yes. And you're trying to press your whole back against the floor and then come back. I hope you feel it. Let's go again. So right arm and leg away from each other, and you're trying to press your whole back against the floor and back. And again with the other. And back. Rest for a moment. Just for a moment. You're going to grab your block. This time you're going to use the block, the whole width of the block, and it's going to be right in front of your knees. Basically, you're going to bring your forearms, maybe. For some of us, we can put the forearms on the block. And if this doesn't work, you can put your hands on the block instead. So now what I want you to do is you're going to try to take the right leg forward and the left arm back. So it's opposite. And your right hand is pushing the block onto your left thigh. And breathe. Come back and change. So left leg and right arm. And you're trying to press the whole back against the floor and breathe. Good. Try to stay for maybe a breath or two when you're there, kind of in the struggle. And again. There you go. And then relax. If it feels okay, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, open the knees out to the sides. Lie down that way, take your arms up and overhead. You can cradle your elbows. Or you can reach your arms back. Any variation that you feel like you have a lot of space. And let's stay here for a few breaths. So all these muscles that we just connected with are the muscles that we use when we are standing, when we're walking. So we really want that activity happening. Good. Bring your knees in. And one last time, take your block, the short height, under your pelvis for a supported bridge pose. And that's going to help us kind of release a little bit those muscles that we just engaged for a few moments. If you like to extend your legs, you can do that. So take your time. We're going to be coming out of this pose. You can bend your knees. Place the feet on the ground. Lift your hips up. Move that block to the side. And then roll your body to one side. And then we're going to be coming up. We're going to be standing up. So I want you to have your a ball near, just one, tennis ball, tune-up ball. Okay. So let's stand for a moment with the feet hip-bone distance apart. And take a moment to feel your feet and how your feet are landing, right? So we're coming into the Tadasana legs. The feet hip-bone distance apart. The outside edges of the feet are parallel. Good. And now we're going to put the ball on the sticky mat. We're going to use just one foot, okay? So we're going to start massaging one foot only. And like you're rolling, you're kneading dough. Then you're gonna pin your heel on the ground and you have the ball on the ball of the foot, and I want you to turn side to side. So you're pushing onto the ball of the foot and you're kind of moving your ankle. Good. Now we're going to go right into this space at the beginning of your heel on the inside, right where the arch meets. And I want you to kind of dig in there, press right there. Yeah, it's a little dig. That area gets pretty congested. And then run a line all the way to the base of the big toe. That's your arch. Now, where the ball of your foot ends, right where the ball of the foot ends, put the ball there and push and move. Isn't it lovely? And then we're going to the little toe side at the base, and you press and then run a line. And you really dig. It's not light. The feet can take so much. I mean, they carry the whole weight of our body, so. And then we're going right onto the front of the heel, the whole area. And you press like you're going to step there. Then, anywhere you want, you're going to push onto the ball and try to twist your foot over the ball. So the ball is not really moving. It's kind of picking up skin, grabbing that nice tissue, and then go the other way. Oh. There's no fine line between pain and pleasure sometimes.
Very thin.
Very thin sometimes. When you're crying and I don't know if you're happy or sad. Okay, now I want you to stand up and feel that side. Ooh.
I feel like my arch is higher.
The arch is higher, and it feels like the weight, it can take the weight, that side. It's like really like solid, like an elephant leg. And you see if you touch the muscles on the side that you massage, they feel more active for me. Like they're ready to for action. We have another foot.
Sadly, we have another foot.
Well, we're not a centipede. I always say the same stupid joke. Yes, let's be happy. We're not centipedes. So we're just going first into that kind of overall massage. Last night, because sometimes I have nothing to do than look at my feet and my hands, I'm looking at my hands, and so the area of the hands right at the base of your fingers is the same as the pad of the ball of your foot. And you can actually spread your fingers wider than the ball of the base. And that's the same thing for our feet. Our toes should spread wider than the width of the ball of your foot. And if you look at babies, before they have shoes on, before they're 2 years old, their toes are wider than the ball of the foot. Now, you're gonna find the heel rooted, and you have the ball on the ball of the foot, and you're going side to side. Little bit of a ankle mobility there as you press. We're gonna go right at the beginning of your arch, at the front of the heel, that tender spot. And you can put as much pressure as it feels okay, as if you're going to stand there. And then you dig and move the ball all the base to the base of your big toe. Go right at the beginning of the ball of the foot, right where the ball of the foot ends and the arch begins. And you are pressing there and moving your foot. Actually, that's a really good space to twist. And you can actually move the ball further down and find other places that it can grab that tissue. So when it grabs the tissue and twists it, basically it's lengthening, it's creating space and circulation that we need, especially if you're sitting for long, you want circulation back up. The front of your heel, and you're putting pressure there as if you are standing on your high heels. And again, you can twist if you like. And give yourselves another 10 seconds anywhere you like before we stand again. Good. Then we're gonna move the ball to the side and stand up again in your Tadasana. Oh, it just feels like you don't have to work that hard to stay standing. So we're gonna be doing some standing poses. And the first one we're gonna do is Utkatasana, which is kind of a squat, and we call it chair pose. So the feet are hip bone distance apart. You're going to take the top of your thigh bones a little bit back, as if you're perching, like there's a stool behind you. The weight is on your heels. Take your arms forward, and then start descending as long as you keep the weight on your heels and you're not overarching your spine. Good. Stay here. And see if you can go a little bit lower. Find those muscles that helped you before when we were working on the core. Press the heels and then come up. Separate your feet a little bit wider. It can be as wide as the mat. And for some of us, this makes it easier. So now you can line up the outside edges of your feet with the outside edges of the mat, unless you have a very wide mat. Okay, take the top of your thigh bones back. Now track your knees. The knees like to knock each other in the middle. You have to work the muscles on your rotators here to keep your knees tracking forward, and sit back into your chair pose. Weight on the heels. Take your sitting bones back and down. It's okay to bend a little bit forward. Push your heels down and out, like you're trying to break your mat apart. And then come up. Coming up. All right, last one. We're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna separate, you're gonna move your toes slightly out and get your legs even wider. We're gonna work those inner thighs and the outer glutes. And go back into your squat. Yeah, make sure that you're squeezing those glutes in and your knees are going out, so you're feeling the inner thighs. Maybe you take your arms higher. 2 more breaths. And then slowly come up. Woo. We're gonna put all this together. So come forward onto the sticky mat, and you have your feet hip bone distance apart. We're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling and take your right knee up too. Then you're gonna bring your right ankle over the left thigh, and you're going to sit back into the same pose but in one leg. So this is like Utkatasana. Look steady somewhere that is not moving. Good. Now coming up, you're gonna take that knee up, and you're going to take your arms behind you and your foot behind you. Yes, so you're on the ball of your back foot. Your front knee is bent. And then inhale and rise up. Good. Take your arms down as you step up. Bring your knee up. And then place your foot down on the floor. A lot of balancing here. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take your left knee up. Bring your ankle over your thigh. Sit back into this hip opener. Take another breath. We're going to come up, bring the knee up. Take the arms behind you and take the foot behind you. You're on the ball of your back foot and reach up. One more breath. Now slowly let's come up, bring your knee up and release. Okay, let's do it again. So finding those muscles that we just worked with. Inhale, right leg up. Now this time bring your hands to your heart as you bring your right ankle over the thigh. And balancing. Inhale, coming up, take your knee up. We're supposed to lose our balance. Take your arms behind you on your back leg. Inhale. Now as you exhale, come forward. Your arms go down and release. This is a complete movement. Let's do it again. Inhale, left leg. Bring your hands to your heart and sit. Let's come up. Inhale, take your knee up. Take the leg back behind you. Take your arms back. And then inhale, reach. Now come slowly up and release. It's supposed to be hard because it's asking us to create stability in movement. It's harder than here. This is static. It's not asking you anything, right? So we're doing it in movement. Okay, so now from here we're gonna come open up into a wide stance. You can face each other, whatever you want to do, face the mirror. So you're in a wide stance. Let's turn the right foot out. I'm going to turn the right foot out. Good. Open arms and bend your front knee. So we're in that warrior two pose. Now look that your knee is not past your ankle. If it is, get longer with your legs. Yes, beautiful. Reach forward, bring your elbow on your thigh, and travel your arm up and overhead. As you're staying here, can you find that connection between your pubic bone and your breastbone, like they're trying to come towards each other, and that's gonna engage the front. Good, now take that top arm up towards the ceiling like someone is pulling you up, and you come back up into your warrior two. Good, straighten the leg, bring your hands onto your hips, and let's turn to the other side. Now you're gonna turn the left foot out. Good, let's bend that front knee and check knee over ankle. Yeah, open arms. Stay tall like you're reaching up through the crown of the head, and you're pressing with your feet evenly. Reach forward, elbow on thigh, travel your arm up and overhead, and see if you can feel that line of energy, that stretch on the whole side of your body. Draw the abdomen in. Good, take your arm up towards the ceiling like someone is helping you come up into your warrior two. And let's straighten the leg, bring your hands onto your hips. Turn the toes forward. Good. Now put a little bend on your knees. You're gonna take your thigh bones back, again like you're sitting somewhere. Pull your abdomen in, it's a hinge. So you can be here with your hands on your shins. You can bring your fingertips on the ground. Yeah, there you go. Now, if your heels are lifting off the ground, bend your knees more. Imagine you're trying to dig your heels on sand. Keep that and walk your hands further forward. So don't take your hips with you. The hips are reaching back, but your fingertips are reaching forward, and your torso is lengthening like a down dog. And rather than looking back between your legs, look between your hands. Press your fingertips onto the ground like you're dragging them in towards you. That's gonna open up the chest and engage the upper back. So you're dragging your fingertips on the floor towards you energetically. 2 more breaths. Now, you're gonna bend the right knee, and you're gonna straighten the left leg. And then we're gonna change. You're gonna bend the other. Do that a couple of times. So you're bending one and then the other. Now we're gonna come back to center, either both knees bent or both knees straight. You're gonna walk your torso and your hands towards your right. As you're staying here, I want you to draw the outer left hip back and straighten that left leg. You're reaching through, you're straightening by pressing the heel of that left foot on the ground. Good, come back to center, bend, walk to your left. You're gonna be straightening now your right leg. Take 3 more breaths. Beautiful, come back to center. Now you're gonna heel to your feet a couple of times until you feel like they're a good distance, that you feel stable. Your knees are bent. Bring both hands to the hips. Point your elbows up towards the ceiling. Engage your abdominals. Weight on the heels. I want you to press the heels down on the floor and out like you wanna break your mat. Push the heels out and come up. There you go. Bring your palms together to your heart for a moment. Bring your feet in and just pause. Take 3 breaths. Okay, we're going down to the floor. Come forward onto your mat. About hip bone distance apart, you want the feet. Inhale, you're gonna reach the arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, lengthen forward, open your arms into the forward fold. Inhale, extend forward so your hands are on the shins. Your knees can be bent. You push your shins onto your hands and your hands back onto your shins to extend the heart forward. And then fold. Now place your hands on the floor and walk your feet all the way back until you come down onto the ground. You can do a push-up on your way. And then you're gonna make a little pillow for your head. And take a couple of breaths here. So let's bring the forearms under our shoulders. So you have actually your elbows are under the shoulders or a little bit forward of your shoulders. Sometimes we put the elbows too close and it's too much for a lower back. So find the place that you feel like you're in a back bend, but your back does not hurt. Okay, tuck the toes under. Walk your toes in towards your knees as much as you can, and then reach your heels back towards the wall behind you. Make sure the big toes are engaged, the whole ball of the foot. The knees are lifting, right? Good. Now, imagine you're trying to claw the floor with your hands and drag your hands towards you. That's going to open up the chest. And your heels are reaching back. Good. And then release. Pause for a moment. Now tuck the toes under on your right foot only. The toes of your right foot are under. You're reaching the heel back so the whole knee is lifting and the whole right leg is active. The left leg is relaxed. Okay, bring your hands right under your shoulders and a little bit out like a cobra hands. Before you come up, roll your shoulders up. The head of the arm goes up. Feel your shoulder blades down the back. There you go. Good. Now slowly come up into your cobra pose. Work the toes of your right foot and then lower down. Let's change. Toes of the left foot tucked under. Activate the whole left leg. The hands are in the shoulders. You can open up your hands a little bit wider. Roll your shoulders open so you feel your shoulder blades are really plugged in, and come up again. And you don't need to come up too high. You can keep your elbows really close to your body and do a lower cobra and then lower down. Back bends a little goes a long way. Tuck both toes under, the toes of both feet. Activate your legs. Bring your hands for cobra. This time we're lifting, but not too high because I don't want the back to be crunchy here. You're really working your abdominals, opening up into the shoulders, and reach your heels back. One more breath. And then lower down and rest. You can bend your knees, move your legs side to side like windshield wipers. You can keep that pillow under your head. We're gonna lift both feet off the ground. So you might feel your pubic bone on the floor and maybe a little bit of the top of the thighs. Make sure your abdomen is engaged. And you're pointing your toes like you're reaching back. And then lower down. Now let's lift just the right leg, and I want you to lift from the inner thigh of your right leg. So lift the right leg from the inner thigh, and then slowly lift your chest. So your arms stay on the floor. You're just lifting your chest and your right leg, and straighten that right leg, and lower down. Do the same with your left. Reach back, and then lift. There you go. And lower down. Now from here we're gonna lift the legs, both legs lifting, and we're lifting the chest. And you can keep your arms where they are. Think of length, like you're trying to reach your feet back and you're trying to reach your torso forward by pressing the forearms towards you. Yeah. And then breathe and release. Bend your knees. Move your legs side to side like windshield wipers. Let's make our way into child's pose. And if child's pose is not okay for your knees, you can do upside down child's pose, meaning that you lie down on your back and bring your knees to your chest. Because we are going to end on our backs. So decompressing your lower back after the back bends. Now with your hands, so if you were in child's pose, turn onto your backs and bring your knees to your chest, and you bring each hand on knee. We're gonna do big circles. So your knees, you're gonna open them out to the sides, wider than your hips, forward away from your body until your elbows are straight, together, back towards your chest. So open out, take them forward, bring them together and back towards your chest. Big circles with your legs. So the legs are not doing the work. The arms are moving the legs. So if you were to let go of your hands, your legs will fall. So we don't want the hip flexors to do any work right now. Change the direction. All right, let's hug right knee in, extend the other leg. You can take that knee across for a twist. Come back to center, bring your other knee up and twist. Back to center, any movement you like to do. We're coming into Shavasana for a couple of minutes, nothing to do, nowhere to go, completely relaxing your body. So lie down on your back, let your arms rest, your legs rest. So we started in Shavasana, we finished with Shavasana, and it might be very different one from the other. Notice if there's a easier connection between the body and the mind. Via the breath, that you can feel your breath anywhere in your body. You can be here, this moment, and the body can rest and relax. Starting to deepen breath. Very gradually starting to move your fingers, your toes. You can move your head from side to side. And take a moment to stretch in any way that feels easy, comfortable, transitional. If you feel ready to roll your body to one side. And we bring the palms together to the heart, honoring our time together, our practice, our able bodies, our breath, our connection, our time. Thank you so much for being here. We say a word that means the light within me sees and greets the light within you. Namaste.